everybody!
Hey guys, so for our first video back from our summer break, we're going to do a very important one comparing the three main vans. So of course it's a big decision to make, so stick around and learn all about them. Okay, so welcome back, officially back from our summer break. We've been well, hope you've been well.
Yeah, and we left you guys with a video, well, not the last one, but a few before, talking about, well, the van itself, our build cost. And from that video we were saying that we would explain why we chose the Promaster, because that was a big part of the cost of our van build cost. So there it is. We are talking about reasons why we chose the Promaster comparing to the two other ones, so Ford Transit and Mercedes Sprinter.
We're going to start by giving out a few specs and details about the three vans, and then we're going to describe why we chose the Promaster van.
Yeah, right. So we are comparing only high roofs because we wanted to have a van we can stand in. So that's our
baseline.
Yeah, baseline.
Basically.
Okay, so first of all, let's just say that all three vans offer the same three capacities. So
1500, 2500, 3500.
So depending on what you're looking for, you can look into details for each capacities.
Now, starting with Sprinter vans.
Sprinter vans!
Well, they are really
popular Sprinter vans.
They are really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're nice.
Looks badass.
Yeah, especially when they're jacked and have the headlights and everything. They're really cool. German engineering, so it's mostly reliable, but mostly expensive as well. So that's to weigh in.
Yeah. Alright, so a bit of information. Wheelbase. So you get three different wheelbase. 144 inches, 170, or 170 extended.
So that adds about a feet or two of...
After the wheels.
Yeah, after the wheels.
Also the high roof, because that's what we are comparing, is 107.3 inches. You can have it four-wheel drive, you can have gas or diesel now, and it's a rear-wheel drive if you don't get the four-wheel drive. Fuel capacity for the tank is 22 gallons.
Which is the worst of the three.
Yeah, and width for the inside of the van is 69 inches.
69 inches, yes. Okay.
Let's go on to Ford.
So the Ford is obviously American made. It has three, again, different types of length. You have the 130, 148, and the extended, which again adds a foot or two in the back of the wheels, just to get that extra length. The high roof of the Ford is 110 inches, so the highest of the three, which is impressive. And the width of the van is 69 as well, so both the Sprinter and the Ford have the same width. You also have a four-wheel drive option. If you take the standard package, it is a rear-wheel drive as well. Gas and diesel now as well for Ford. The fuel tank is a 25.1 gallons, so that is the biggest of the three vans in terms of capacity.
Alright, so same, a few specs for the Promaster. So you get, it's an American engine again. Wheelbase, you get 136, 159, or 159 extended. Again, you get another foot or two at the end of the wheels. The high roof is 102.1 inches. And then you get a front wheel drive. You don't have the option for a four-wheel drive, but it is a standard front wheel drive.
Which is really interesting.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. And you don't get a diesel option, it's only gas. Plus fuel tank capacity is 24. And I haven't said the width.
24 gallons.
Oh yeah, 24 gallons for the capacity. And the width of the van inside is 73.
So the widest of the bunch. Even though it is the lowest, it is still very high. If you are 6 foot, you should enter no worries. We have, you know,
a thick insulation on the bottom as well. So
of bottom and about 1 inch here on top. So you could do it even slimmer if you would want it.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about why did we choose the Promaster van. Well, first let's rule out the Sprinter. It is the most expensive of the three, either for just the base cost and then the repairs that you'll need to do. And if ever you break down, we also often use this metaphor, if ever you break down in the middle of Saskatchewan or Manitoba and you...
Texas.
or Texas, whatever, and you need some parts for your van and you bring it to a local shop, well, most likely they won't have the parts you need, but they're probably going to have some Ram parts or some Ford parts as well, because these are vans commonly used.
Yeah.
I mean the Promaster, the engine is used in the Dodge Caravan, which is like the most sold van.
Yeah, and this is a good engine as well, so it's used in a bunch of cars.
So no trouble finding parts and pieces for this model as well, so that's a plus. So Sprinter van disqualified very early on because it's the most expensive. If we would have the money, maybe, but you know, have to respect the budget.
Well, if we had the money, like without any limitations, we would go probably for a Sprinter 4x4 jacked diesel
with headlights and a grill. Then we go down to Ford. Why didn't we choose the Ford? Well, it's a bit more expensive than the Ram. It is taller, but it is thinner. And both the Sprinter and the Transit, well, you couldn't fit a full-size double bed in the back, because the double bed is 74 inches wide, and both of those are 69, so we would have to have a Murphy bed or some sort of bed on the other side like this.
Yeah, or custom mattresses.
Or custom mattresses,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, if you remember, we said the width was 73 and now we're saying that a double bed is 74. It's because we actually can gain 2 inches inside the width of the van, so it is actually a 75 inches width. So that's why you can build in your
bump out bed.
Yeah.
So go check out that video if you want to see how we did it with IKEA beams. So very easy.
Also, it's not the highest, but again, it's a good thing. It's less catch less in the wind.
So if ever you want to have some storage on the top of your van or like a tent or something, well, it'll be lower than the Sprinter and the Ford. So yeah, on the highway you catch less inside the wind. One of the main attraction points of the Promaster van, it is the front wheel drive and not the rear wheel drive. So when you drive it, it actually feels more like a car than like a truck, which is awesome. Yeah, the drivetrain is just amazing, and that is a huge advantage for us in Canada during wintertime. It is always safer to have a front wheel drive than the rear wheel drive, especially if you're stuck in a snowbank or something. So yeah, the front wheel drive is a huge advantage of this kind of truck.
Another really important thing is the Promaster is the more boxy interior.
It's more like a square and not like a
curved oval.
So building out a Promaster van will be easier for your corners, will be easier for your counters, your bed and everything. It just makes life a huge amount, just make your life more easy.
Yeah, it won't be straight anyway, but it'll be less curvy.
Another reason why we chose the Promaster, it's because we found this one at a really good price. It was only 1,700 kilometers, which is nothing. It was just used in a dealership for moving parts around, and they didn't use it. So it was used for like 3 months in the backlot of a dealership. But just because it was out of the garage, it lost like 10 grand in value. So we had it at an awesome price, and it's still on the dealership guarantee. Yeah.
And it had like every features we could have wished for. A bigger alternator as well for a better battery capacity. We have AC, cruise control,
Bluetooth,
rear camera,
swivel seat.
Both.
Yeah, which is great.
The 159 wheelbase for Promaster also allows us to park in a regular parking spot. Of course, if we would have taken smaller, it would fit too. But even with that big length, we get to park in a regular parking spot, which wouldn't be the case with a Sprinter.
Yeah, because the medium Sprinter is 170, which is 11 inches more than ours.
So that's really cool too. We don't need two spots facing each other. We can fit anywhere we want.
So it's easier in the city and everything. Yeah, and we would also discourage getting the extended one, in either three brands, especially if you want to have a bike rack in the back or a box in the back, because if you have more weight in the back, it will lower it, and if ever you need to go like over speed bumps or up a hill or on a ferry, because they have like these little bumps on the start there, well, there's a lot of chances that the back might scratch on the floor of the street or whatever. So that's something to take into consideration, especially the Sprinter, which is the longest of the three. So we've made it. These are the reasons why we've chose the Promaster versus the Sprinter and the Transit. I hope this helps you a bit more in a direction to choose your own van someday. We highly recommend you to do more research for yourself. If ever you have some questions, don't hesitate. Write them down in the comments. We'll answer them for sure. Hope you're happy to see us, because we're happy to be back.
And we're back!
And stay tuned, because we're going to have another video next week. Of course, one video a week is coming back. And shortly, in a few weeks, last month, we're going to be leaving full-time with the van for like a month. Stay tuned.
Yeah!
Alright, guys. Have a wonderful day. Like, comment, and subscribe. And see you next week. Bye!